Started. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What a glorious day. This is a great weekend. Weekend. This is a great week. Martin Luther King Day. Starting this week off right. Hope 24 has been good to you. It's been great to us. Here at Sanders Says, we're all about mental health. We're all about growth. We're all about perspective. And I am excited to have this guest here today where we're going to give a little bit of perspective, a little backstory, and hopefully, really hear her truth. And I'm excited about this conversation we're going to have. But before we dig into that, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Zara Wellness. You go to zarawellness.com and get your flower today, get your topicals, get your gummies, all top shelf THCA flower. And we talking THCA, so this is flower that's legal in every state. And it's good flower. It's good. So zarawellness.com, that's where you go to get your flower. Shout out to sponsors. So today, without further ado, we have Miss Angel Massey. And you might not know who Miss Angel Massey is, but she is the creator of stars, to say the least. But we're going to dig into her story, and how this all began for her. And, I can't wait to talk to her. So let's bring her up to the stage.
Hey, well, thank you. You're the creator, the executive producer, the director of bringing you guys, Christopher and Kyle Massey. Hey, hey. It's
Yes,
awesome.
yes. Look at it.
Thank
That's where they get it from right there. See, they mama a star,
thank,
so it's just natural.
thank you so much. You're
This is the
awesome.
first
I like the way you sold that THT. What is it? THC? What is it? TCH? What is it?
THCA.
TCH?
It's THC,
THC?
THCA.
How you sold? It's the good bud. It's the best bud. I don't smoke, but I mean, I just like the way you sold it. If I was going to try
Okay,
it, that would be.
you should. If you try
I,
it, THCA. Yeah.
I got it.
Well, I want to thank you for being on the show today. I know it's a lot of things going on, busy, but thank you for being here. Appreciate you just spending time with us.
Thank
Um,
you so much for
so
having me. Yes, sir.
yes, ma'am. So is your Wi-Fi a little choppy? Is it coming through on your end like that too?
You know what? I remember I told you that it is a little choppy sometimes. Um,
Yeah,
okay,
it's a little
so
better now. It's better now.
okay,
It's better now. There we go. We just had
okay,
to
because
talk about it. Sometimes you gotta talk about it.
yeah, I live in the woods, so it does get a little choppy. Remember I told you that because I could have gone like to someplace else to do it, but
It's getting better now. It look good. There you go. It's coming
okay,
through. Okay.
just make
So
sure we got it right.
nah, yeah, for sure. We got it good. Well, you know, there has been, some clouds, some dark clouds, over your situation, your family, recently. But before we get into that, because that's a piece of the puzzle, I wanna start from the beginning.
Okay.
You have these two young boys. What did you see the stardom in them? Was it how did they come about? Was it other family members? Is it just your personality? Because I see you got a lot of personality, so I see they probably took from you a lot. But what what was it about them when they were young that did you see that they were gonna become stars? Like, was there, how were they as boys?
So that's a really great question. So to answer that question honestly, I what did I know? I actually told the producers, Kyle had done this job. He had done, well, no, it was Christopher's audition. And they pulled Kyle into the audition for, it was a project called Grandpa's Garage that was filming on what they call on location in Atlanta from the producers were from California. And they took, my son Christopher has was doing the business. He's been in the business since he was 2 years old. So we've been in this game for 32 years. My son will be 34 years old on the 26th. Christopher Massey from Zoe 101 and Zoe
Mhm.
102. And he's modeled for pretty much every print job, Riches, Macy's, Neiman Sachs. There was
Right.
a company called Parisians, Sears, JC Penney's. So we've done a ton of work and commercials and Kellogg's, Frosted Flakes, and
Mhm.
Captain Crunch. And so we've
Yeah.
been attached to a lot of great brands from when my son was 32. So to give credit to the family for this business, it has to start with Christopher. And Kyle, being the younger brother, just fell into it on one of Christopher's auditions. He was auditioning for this
Wow.
part. Yes, called Grandpa's Garage, and they were bringing the kids in like two or three at a time for this audition. And so Kyle, they were when typically when my kids come out of an audition, I would always ask Chris, how did they go? Like, what did they say? And what did you do? And tell me how they said it. And while I was drilling Christopher, trying to get information from him about how well the audition went, the casting director was taking Kyle in the room and he was allowing them to. And I'm like, whoa, 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 wait a minute. He's not auditioning. And so Kyle never told her he wasn't auditioning. And the lady says, well, why? And I said, he's not auditioning. He's just not. And
Yeah.
the rest is history. He went in, nailed. You just went out. So is that you
It's
went
okay.
out? Was that okay?
You froze for a minute, but we can still hear you.
Oh, okay. So that's how it happened. And so that's what happened. So Kyle ended up falling into the grandpa's garage audition. Those producers were from California, and we did, it
Mhm.
was a 20-week commitment at the time. And the project ended in November. And once the project ended in November, the producers were like, we really do feel like that, if you can afford to go to California, he could compete with what they consider the professionals, Kyle. And
Mhm.
that's what took us to California. We went to California the day after Thanksgiving 2000 on that Friday, and we've never come back home as a
Mhm.
family full time since that day to this one.
Wow.
That's how
Wow.
and Christopher, how he got
Mhm.
into the business at 2 years old. His agent, Joy Purvis, who is still his agent to today, she's still our agent to this day. She saw him, saw us at a looking at pictures, and we were picking up pictures from J.C. Penney's, and Christopher was, just had a whole lot of personality then, and she was just like, "Who is this kid?" And I said, "That's my son." And she gave me her card and said that she was an agent, and I thought it was just a scam. And then I saw after that, after she had approached me and she gave me her card, and I thought it was a scam. I then one day just kind of was passing through television, and Raven Simone was on television talking about where
Mhm.
she got her start from, and it was the same lady that had given me that card. I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. She's not a scam. She really is legit.
Right.
So I called her back to
Wow.
see if that opportunity was still available, and the rest is history. That's how it happened. So I can't
Wow.
credit for being approached, but I will say that I told the producers that wanted Kyle, I said, I just don't think that because they hired him, they wanted to hire him, and they were contracting him out. And I said, look, I just don't think that this is going to be a good idea, because his personality is, if he doesn't want to do something, he's just
Mhm.
not going to do it. And I didn't
Right.
want to ruin Christopher's momentum and the career that he had going and pending, putting our, money on Kyle. But it
Right.
turned out that, it was people saw in us what we didn't see in ourselves, and that's how we got to where we are right now.
Wow. Wow. So
Career.
so they were discovered.
They
You
literally,
got
really,
through it.
literally were discovered. Yes. And
Wow.
let me tell you how deep the discovery went. Christopher was always, always easy breezy. He was Christopher and Kyle's personalities are completely different. Kyle's personality is, if he, to give you an example, when we so if when they were younger, if all the kids in the neighborhood, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 kids in the neighborhood were outside playing, making lots of noise and having fun and all that stuff, if Kyle did not want to go outside, he didn't go outside. He didn't care that everybody was outside having a great time and laughing and having fun. If he didn't want to do it, he just didn't do it.
Right.
And it wasn't going to convince him just because everybody else was outside having fun. Now,
Yeah.
Christopher is way more popular and
Mhm.
social than
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just is like, he's just gonna gravitate to everybody, and Kyle is just gonna be like, if he want to move, he will. If he don't, he won't. He kind of act like an old man. Kyle kind of act like an old man, actually. Like if they were on a movie, because I call Kyle grumpy sometimes. I'm like, gosh, like you just so grumpy. Like, but he's a nice person, but he's just not as approachable. He is approachable when he's working, but
Right.
he's just not an approachable person, just his own, if on his own, what am I trying to say? On his own, without it being a part of his
Right.
job, like that.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
Christopher is way more social than Kyle, to be honest with you.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I didn't. So you were discussed. So
yeah,
how did life change after that?
yeah. And
Where?
Kyle actually more of the big brother, because Christopher is the kind of person where if it's a party, oh, he's there.
Mhm.
But Kyle is going to assess the situation. He's going to go, but Christopher, we don't know anybody there at that party. I mean, does that really make sense for us to go? I mean, do you know any, like, if Christopher meets somebody and get an invitation to go to the party, he's going. Kyle's going to be like,
Right.
well, but we don't really know anybody there. Like, yeah, I mean, like, why would we go when we don't know anybody there? Like, we don't know one
Right.
person there. Is that so
Right.
Kyle kind of serves as the big brother to
The
kind of,
voice of
because
reason.
Christopher, what a party at, player? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's going, and he'll think about choices later, but not Kyle. He doesn't do
Yeah.
that.
Well, that's a good balance. That's a good balance. It sounds like
Right.
they keep each other balanced.
And
Yeah.
what's so interesting and so cool about them is they come from the same mom and dad, and yet they are like, they're not like, they're completely different, which people are supposed to be different. But it's funny because even their dad, people think that I'm like the life of the party, and they really like me, and they, people when I go places. But the people that I have, since my husband, their dad and I got a divorce, back in 2009. So
Mhm.
since 2009 until now, our new people that we've started to work with and things like that, that did not know their dad, when they got to meet their dad, it's like they'll trade their dad in for me anytime. They'll trade me in. So I'm like, well, yeah. So he has a personality too. So I guess they get it from both of us.
Nah, that's good. That's awesome though. That makes a lot of sense. What do
Yeah,
you
and his bigger than mine. His personality is way bigger than mine.
your husband? Oh, well, your ex. Yeah, I mean
And the boy's dad, yes.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So was there anything when they were younger that you think maybe shaped them to be the way that they were? Like any events that happened that maybe have been good or bad?
When you say shape them the way they were, in what context are you talking about?
Well, you say Kyle is a little more skeptical, right? He's a little bit more of
Well,
force of reason.
I wouldn't use that vocabulary word skeptical. Skeptical. He's just more reserved. Like Kyle is. Just to
Uh,
give you an example, he when Kyle was born, he didn't want to deal with nobody, including his dad, my mom,
mhm,
my dad,
mhm,
my aunts,
mhm.
Mike's mom, Mike's dad.
Yeah.
He didn't want to deal with nobody but me. He
Yeah.
didn't care. It was, everything was all about me. Now Christopher was like, deuces, holla, I'll catch you
Right.
later.
Right.
I'll call you.
Yeah.
I'm ready for you to, like that. Like that. So
Right.
that's the difference. So skeptical.
They was
He's just
embedded. It
always
was
had
embedded
his
in them.
he's just always
Yeah.
just been his own independent thinking person. Like he doesn't really, he's
Yeah.
not going to be just booed just because everybody's
Yeah.
going and everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
interesting because I talked about this to my kids recently, actually, that when Christopher used to go, when they would go over to Miss Massey, to my ex-husband's house, when they would go over to their grandparents' house, Christopher could stay for years and never come back home. He was there.
Mhm.
He was their favorite, and Kyle was like, "Fine, I don't mind coming to visit, but what time you coming back? Because if you're back, like that's just."
Right.
And so what happened was, I didn't. Once I went to the house to pick them up, I wasn't coming back but one time. So Christopher
Mhm.
used to hate that he used to have to go home because I was only coming back to one time. I'm dropping you off and I'm picking everybody up at the same time.
Right.
And
Right.
Chris like it, like he just didn't like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's just the difference in their personalities. Not skeptical. He just is
Right.
more reserved, and he's just gonna do his own thing.
Yeah.
He's
When
okay.
they right, right. So when these two young boys, you have them, they get discovered. How did life change after that point? Like, was it constantly traveling on the road? Was it, hard to remain as a core, or did you guys like become closer?
So that's a really great question. So core wise, to give you an example, so core wise, we've come we both sides, their dad and myself, come from a praying, generationally praying family. So rooted and grounded in principles and character has always been the formula for us. Anyway, just because we didn't have anything to do with it. Mike's parents prayed for him before he was born. His grandparents, the same for me. Same, so from all sides. And then I also had a bonus because I had my biological parents, my mom and my dad, and then I had a stepdad. So I had three sets of parents and family and village praying for me. So I got triple
Right.
coverage, whereas Mike
Right.
had double. So we had,
Right.
so basically, to be honest with you, we've always been the same. That's the reason why
Mhm.
I can honestly say to you, you can do a poll with people that have worked with Christopher or Kyle. I
Mhm.
don't care in what capacity, whether it was an extra craft service, photography, extra. I said extras. The crew, um, other actors, actresses, studio teachers, studios. You're the executives. You're
Mhm.
not going to find anybody in any one of those capacities in the 20 something years that we've been in television to be able to find something negative to say about them. And that's the truth.
Right.
No
Yeah.
director, no video photography, no studio teacher, no
Mhm.
parent, nobody.
Right.
we
Right.
we have we have an exemplary high character status in the industry, and not many celebrities have that. And I can honestly, I don't care
Right.
if they're adults or children, we are set apart from them as it relates to our character and our brand and our name as it relates to our peers.
Right. Right. Right.
That's the truth. Nobody. That
Mhm.
that's that's why
Mhm.
you've never really heard anybody saying anything bad about us. That's why you never heard us in a headline, ever,
Right. Right.
ever, ever. And
Yeah.
that's never. They
Mhm.
always signed autographs, even when Kyle didn't want to. He did it. Kyle Christopher didn't never mind, so that's just who we are. Like like I told you, people like Mike, their dad, sometimes above me, and it
Mhm.
only takes 5 minutes of learning him. My kids have been playing golf since they were little, before Tiger Woods came along and made it very, very popular. And I mean, Mike come from his their dad comes from a golf background before Tiger Woods came along and made it very popular for black people to start playing golf. In fact,
Mhm.
their dad actually taught like Anthony Anderson and Flex, and a lot of these celebrities in California. Their dad taught them how to play golf.
Mhm.
So we come from solid principles, guidelines, foundation, and character. We didn't have to
Right.
learn that we're not pretending to be nice people. That's really genuinely who we are. And my
right.
kids are some of the few kids that when they go places, people expect them to be different because that's the way celebrities have always typically presented themselves to them. Not that
Mhm.
it's right, wrong, or indifferent, but they originally start to treat us like that we're going to be a problem, or that we're going to be needy or
Right, right,
demanding, and none of the adjectives
right,
have ever applied to us ever. Even when
right,
Kyle,
right.
even when Kyle was on, he was the lead on That's So Raven, well, the lead of Corey in the House, and when he was playing Corey Baxter, the pretty much the second B story of That's So Raven, because it was Raven. We were third billing on the show, but we end up being second position because it was Raven's character, then it was Corey Baxter. So
Right,
even
right.
with even with Kyle having wardrobe people that was assigned to come and pick up his clothes and get his stuff, and the people that were assigned to go get him this and go get him that, I never allowed them to. And
Yeah,
it was their job. I never allowed them to do that. One, because it interrupts the circle of life, because now what happens with television, the children becomes the employer. So you have a grown
correct.
person that's working for a child, that their job is dependent upon this child. And so I've always realized that those grown people, they have kids that they wouldn't pick up their ish from off the floor at home.
Mhm.
They're not gonna go running and getting them water and running. So I never allowed them to do that. I never
Right.
allowed them to do that. And I never allowed my kids to even think that it was okay to act in that capacity. That's why I know that our character is solid. Everybody can attest to
Yeah,
that. Everybody,
yeah.
including the executives for the network. In fact, so much so to when Kyle was on Dancing with the Stars, he was, and we did season 11 of Dancing with the Stars. This is a true story. You can fact check me on this. We did
Mhm.
season 11, the season Bristol Palin, and the season with Bristol Palin. It was Kurt Warner, Brandy, Jennifer Grey. We who else was on our show? Um, Kyle. I can't remember who all else we had. Rick Fox. Like, we had one of the
Mhm.
biggest seasons. So we were season 11 was our season, and after we left the show, towards the middle, towards the end of the show, the producer came up to me one day. It's so funny. Her name is Dina Katz, and I consider her my friend now. She says, if we could only hire you to wrangle the celebrities, this show would just be, it would make everybody's life, because people are needy, people are
Yeah,
demanding, people are,
right.
I never allowed, again, so we're what we are. We've been the same way since day one. We haven't changed since we got to show
Mhm,
business at all.
mhm. Yeah,
We just became famously known,
right,
but our
right.
characters and our principles haven't. Because Kyle was always on time, he was always friendly. If when he
Yeah,
was doing his interviews, I always stood right there to make sure that he didn't even go in a general vicinity of a
yeah.
question or that could potentially offend somebody, or
Mhm.
be derogatory to somebody else, or to be co-signing on something that could be set up for somebody else. I made sure that we did not fall into those pitfalls where you could take a
Yeah,
sound bite and make it apply to something that wasn't there. And I did that every single day, 12 weeks. I did not leave his side. And hey, we came in number two. And Michael Jackson's mom, Miss Catherine, said Kyle should have won. How about that for a
yeah,
character?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
that part.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And hey,
That's
look, and let me tell you something. Fact check me.
yeah, yeah. That's wow, that's amazing because so much of your story, so much of their story, is sounds like it's grace, it's kindness, it's hardworking, but yet now there's this cloud,
Mhm.
there's this dark cloud, and I've been through it. I've been through it. I got in a fight in a bar where I got jumped by eight dudes, eight Serbian dudes, and The headlines came out that I was a thug, and I went through a lot too, a lot of public ridicule, and no one knew the story, and no one really was interested. They were more interested in just clicking that and reading the headline. Oh, we lost it. She's coming back.
I see you.
There you go. Clicking the headlines, and so I completely resonate with that as a black man. I resonate as a young black star. Um, I completely get it, and my mother went through everything I went through because that's my mother.
Right.
So I understand your position as well. You have two boys. You have two. Um, where is their like? What's their mental right now? What is their mental state right now?
Hey, are you talking about Christopher and Kyle or just Kyle? Or are we talking about what you mean? Well,
We
the
talk.
whole
We
family.
talking about both.
Go ahead. I'm
The
sorry.
whole family. The whole family. Break it down for me.
Listen to me. The whole family is about, first of all, that's the reason why I am going so hard. I refuse to allow TMZ to have the last word on my character, on my, because see,
Yeah.
when you accuse people of something like this derogatory, so now what you're
Right.
doing, like I can understand where Deion Sanders came from when he said it's personal. Harvey Levins, TMZ, and Evan Burke will not get the last word on our character. You know why? Because as a black family and as black males, our family have done too much to get our kids to where they were and where they are character wise. Not about you take show business away from us. Our name is still solid. Our name
Yes,
is
ma'am.
solid. We put way too much work in. Mike's mom, their dad's mother, has a library named after her because she could teach people how to read that didn't even know one word by the time they finished her classroom in 1 year. So and Mike's sister is very well off. His sister bought Amazon stock when they were $20 a share back when nobody even knew who Amazon was. So Chris and Cal come from praying and blessings on both sides of the family. So,
Yeah.
so to have Harvey Levins and TMZ to they pay for stories, and the
Yeah.
people that buying the stories from them have no idea that it's a
Right.
thing called litigation privilege, where you can lie, defame, maliciously talk about, defraud people, and knowingly tell falsehoods in a document. As long as it's inside of a court document, then they can get away with it being public record. So when you got a dude that's doubling as an attorney and a journalist, but he's paying for stories, that's the story. The
Mhm.
story is Harvey Levins is an attorney that's also doubling, in my opinion, as a sleazy journalist that pays for stories. And the people that's running the stories don't even realize there's a such thing as called litigation privilege. So they're running
Mhm.
all these stories just because they say they got them from public record. But how did they get to public record? Did he pay? How much did he pay for them? Why did he pay for them? Who did he run? And I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm saying based on my son's situation, those
Mhm.
people over at TMZ was fully aware that Kyle had never ever been arrested. You know why they
Mhm.
knew? Because they're the sharks of shit. How did Kyle get a
Yeah.
arrest with a mugshot and fingerprints and a booking and a previous conviction, and all this stayed under the radar of TMZ? I know the black man is a powerful man and they want to make him out to be not, but you're giving us way too much credit when you the sharks of shit.
Yeah.
You can't have that conversation on both sides. And then we have Kyle Massey's attorney, that's a black male named Lee Hutton, that is friends. He's an attorney. Harvey Levins is an attorney. Attorneys
Mhm.
are friends.
Mhm.
And now I have on record Lee Hutton telling my family and my son that he's friends with Evan Burke, and that Evan Burke is a producer over at TMZ, and that
Mhm.
Evan Burke got all of the documents for him. Well, hell, if Evan Burke could get all the documents for him, why did Evan Burke run the story? Why didn't Evan and TMZ, they are written about by saying that they fact check, Well, then where are the facts of Kyle's arrest? Where's his
Right.
mugshot? Where's the fact checked on the mugshot? Where's the fact check on the previous conviction? So you can't have
Right.
the conversation on both sides. Did you fact check the story or did you pay for
Right.
the story? You can't have it on both sides, not and be
Hmm.
right. And that's the reason why it's like every time I post something on my Instagram or my Facebook, I get tagged, I get a community guideline because I'm telling the truth. Evan Burke, the producer over at TMZ, is friends with Kyle's attorney that was paid. That dude was paid $30,000 and he did not file a document in the court, not one in 2 years. It's 3 years this year in June. The man didn't pay, the man didn't file a document. And Harvey Levins and TMZ knew in advance that Kyle had never been arrested because they are the sharks of shit. They
Yeah.
they know everybody business, but they for some reason they just dropped the ball on Kyle's mugshot, and they dropped the ball on Kyle's fingerprint, and they dropped the ball. Man, get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here with that
Yeah.
shit. They're not gonna have my name like that. Not
Hmm.
not comfortably. I'm gonna make
Right.
them very uncomfortable with what they did to my son. And I'm not saying nothing violent, nothing ignorant. I'm just gonna keep on telling the facts, repeating them
Yeah.
over and over because the story is not going to change just because it's TMZ. It's not going to change.
Right.
I'm not afraid of TMZ. His ass is Harvey Levins is a celebrity too. He has a
Hmm.
he got a case where somebody was suing him for sexual misallegation in the workplace, sexual misconduct in the workplace. But nobody has a flashlight up his behind like they got on everybody else. Now, if there had been a black
Hmm.
man in the workplace, oh, he would have been slandered all over the news every day, all day long, until you would have seen him being dragged into the courtroom. You would have seen him in handcuffs. How does Harvey Levin stay underneath the radar? And he's a celebrity too. He's a celebrity too. He on
Hmm.
TV every day. He on TV more than most
Yeah.
celebrities because most celebrities are on programs that come on once a week. He's in our face every day. And he's a celebrity right now under sexual allegation misconduct. Right now in the workplace that he was that person's boss, which is worse in my opinion if you did to somebody on the street.
Right.
So how does he stay so far under the radar? How much money is it costing him to stay under the radar? Why hasn't nobody pulled the trigger on that story? You understand what I'm saying? Like it's bullshit. Like it's fucking bullshit. And we're tired. I'm not gonna let him have my name comfortably. Whether they kill me or I'm not saying that they're gonna kill me. I'm just using this as an example. Because people that start telling the truth about things, you do start, people start looking at you sideways. But at the end of the day, I'm telling as much of our story, the truth about our story, and the facts as they are that are provable facts as quickly and as fast as I can. Because I'm not afraid. I'm more afraid of God than I am Harvey Levins and Evan Burke and Lee Hutton and King County. I'm way more
Amen.
afraid of God. So I'm not, I don't even care nothing about them. They can keep that headline up there all they want to. And I'm gonna keep telling the story slow and steady. They have the big barrel of ink. I mean, they've already smeared my son's name. They've already, and so what you're doing, what they did in that situation, they made it personal because now what you're doing is you're saying that his mama ain't ish, his daddy ain't ish, his grandmama ain't ish, his granddaddy ain't ish, his aunts, his uncles, his no, nigga, you ain't shit, not us. You not shit, TMZ. That's who's not shit. It's y'all. They full of
Hmm.
shit. That's what
Yeah.
they are. They are full of shit. And it's about time
Yeah.
that somebody challenged them on their shit. Look at what they did to Ray Rice, right? Ray Rice, the dude that we all know about the elevator footage, right? It's
Hmm.
written that TMZ paid 90 something $1,000 for that footage, right? He gets fired from the NFL, but his wife is still married to him. So why do we care? What was the point? Do you understand what I'm saying? What was the point? Are you being all over in that man business? You don't pay $90,000 for him doing something to his wife, and his wife didn't even file charges against him. He never went to jail, but the only thing was he just got humiliated on TV and lost his job to be able to feed his children. Like, so what were we supposed to learn about that? He didn't go to
Hmm.
jail. So what was his consequence? He can't feed his family. So is that the goal that you're just trying to make people not be able to feed their family while you making millions? Man, get the out of this mother. No, that we know. And he don't have any kids. So you know why? He don't understand that you don't cross people's children because he don't have any. Harvey Levins does not
Mhm.
have any children. And it's different when you talk about nieces and nephews and shit like that, when you start mucking around with people's children.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you taking food out of somebody's mouth while you sitting up making money off of their transgressions that you paid for. Yeah, I'm not going to let him have our name, and I'm not going to let him do that shit to my son comfortably. Not
Mhm.
comfortably. I'm going to keep on making noise. I'm going to keep on telling the truth. And whatever my consequences are, then I'm ready for them because he is full of shit over at TMZ. Nigga, he making all that money off of everybody else's business and ain't nobody looking into his.
Mhm.
Why? But he's a celebrity too. He on TV every day.
Yeah.
He on TV every single day. How is he staying under the radar? He got a whole sexual misconduct allegation against him. That's the question
Well,
that
we
you need
know
to.
how.
That's the sound. How Angel Massey says, how in the world can Harvey Levin stay under the radar for an open sexual misconduct allegation against him, against some workers at his job when he on TV every single day? But we see all the black people on TV every day. We see all the black people on TV every day with some shit that he done said about them. All of our black men smeared across the TV every day for something way less significant that don't have no evidence. But he stays under the radar. He on TV every day. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not gonna let him have my son's name like that. My son will get his character. His character is already there. And it's
Right.
my job as his mother. They can call me his mama. I'm just his mama. I'm a mama. But they can call me whatever they want to. I don't give up what them people saying. The truth is what it is. So if y'all gonna
Mhm.
be looking at Kyle sideways, look at the other people. Look at the person sideways that started this shit. Look at both of them.
Mhm.
Put Kyle next to Harvey Levins at the same time and see who's still standing. Yeah, we know he got a lot of money. We know he got the big barrel of ink, but I'm talking about character.
Mhm.
Let's stand Kyle Massey up against Harvey Levins and Evan Burke at all three
Mhm.
of them at the same time. We're the only ones that never had a story written about us. When you look at, go Google TMZ, Google Harvey Levins. He's been in a bunch of stuff where he's been trying to block stuff from judges from being able to subpoena his emails and being able to subpoena his records and how much he paid for something. Those are facts. You just got to know how to go look for them.
Mhm.
But if you type in Kyle's name before TMZ released that story back in 2019, you're not gonna find nothing negative about him.
Mhm.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Fact check me. Tell me if I'm wrong. Did you ever hear anything about my son Kyle Massey before 2019?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so can you do me a favor live right now? Go to your phone and type in Harvey Levins lawsuits at TMZ and see how far back they go dated. Do it right now so the people can know that I'm not lying. So they can do it too.
We're gonna look right now.
And tell me what's the latest date, how far back the dates go where people been accusing him of stuff and don't nobody know about it. Like, man, it's bull crap. Like they
What
taking
you?
food out for miles while he making millions of dollars off of everybody else shit that he paying for. Sick of him.
Yeah, you know it's crazy. When you type in his name, you got to be real specific what you're looking for, because
Right,
it
because
ain't just
exactly
gonna pop up.
because everybody
Yeah.
else's shit gonna pop up. Oh, but yeah, you
Yeah.
type in TMZ, everybody
Yeah.
business gonna pop up, but his.
Right.
Come
Right.
on now.
I mean,
And he in charge of the
I'm a,
button. He in charge
I'm
of
a
the
victim.
switch.
I'm a
He in
victim of
charge.
TMZ too.
Yeah,
That's how my story.
listen to me.
Yeah.
He had Shador Sanders on TMZ too. I mean, he ain't got no kids, so he don't understand. You don't leave people kids alone. Stop trying to take food out of people's mouths. Stop bothering people's families when you got your own shit to deal with. You got transgressions yourself that you don't even run, but yet he run everybody else's stuff, and then come to find he paid for the story. Then he run your statement. Then he run the truth. He getting paid 4 or 5 times off of a lie that he paid for in the first place, based on my son's case. If everybody else's case is like mine, then he is full of shit and he paying for the stories. If
Yeah.
he's not paying for it, he running a story that he didn't fact check. So you can't have that conversation on both sides. You can't say you fact check the story, because another fact is Kyle is on Disney Channel Kyle is still to this day 365 days, 7 days a week on Disney Plus. But TMZ's headline says former Disney star. Former mean no more, gone, adios, bye bye, out of here. We still
Mhm.
on Disney Plus every day, 7 days a week, 365. So did you fact check that before you made that headline? Before you got everybody
Right.
saying former Disney star, you don't even know what you're talking about. Did you
Right.
fact check? See, why didn't he run Kyle's mugshot in synonymous with the article? Why did
Right.
he? Why? Because he ain't got one. Because it didn't happen. The police made it up. His name is Daniel Arvidson, and they call him Dan Arvidson. He made the whole super form. Have your listeners Google the word super form in Washington. It's an arrest document. He lied and said he arrested Kyle. That's what,
Mm.
quote unquote, placed him in the state of Washington. It was made up.
Wow.
They also proceeded to have court knowing in advance that Kyle was never served, because the court actually got the document back where they sent it to Kyle and it was returned undeliverable 4 days before the court date. So this is something else that TMZ was aware of as well. 4 days before the court date, it was returned back to the court. They knew before they proceeded to have court without Kyle that he was not notified.
Yeah. Right.
So check this out. When he missed court, if you notice, if people go read the document, when he missed court, they deferred the bench warrant. For a black man that did something to a child, they deferred the bench warrant. Because you know what?
Mm.
TMZ ran the story that Kyle Massey had an arraignment day today and he missed his arraignment, but his next court date is July, the blah, 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 blah. Wait, dude, but you're a lawyer. You're a lawyer.
Mhm.
And you did not know that you can't have court without somebody being there. So you again,
Right.
your ass didn't fact check the documents, because had you fact checked the documents, you would have been able to tell the people, well, no, no, no. The reason that Kyle missed court was because he was never notified. And here it is right here on the court docket. But because he's the sharks of shit, he like to go with the shit that he know people gonna bite on first. He is the
Right.
shark shit. He's an attorney doubling as a sleazy journalist. He pay for stories, and he is and it's sad. It's so sad that he gets so much satisfaction. TMZ gets so much satisfaction out of everybody else's what they think is going to be their demise. But what he failed to realize is God used us for a time such as this. Because guess what now? Now, back in 2019, we were on the heels of R. Kelly on the meltdown of the Gayle King interview. Now in 2024, we on the heels of exoneration, where a man just got $25 million for being wrongfully accused because of a dirty ass cop.
Mhm.
You see how God used Satan against itself? Yeah.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? You see how that works. That years ago, it was we were just on the heels of R. Kelly. Now you got the 200 some bodies buried in the back of the Mississippi Police Department when they killed the mama of that son. When everybody talking about that, yeah, mama, that just what it is don't nobody want the mamas talking, because the mamas know the truth.
Mhm.
Again, you can't have it on both sides of the conversation. Either they want you to talk. They always tell you when you're a person that's in trouble, anything you say can and will be used against you. So now when Kyle is exercising that right, then it's like, well, yeah, we need to talk to him. We need to talk to him. Well, wait a minute. Okay, so he doing everything that society have known to be taught to you by you remain silent. You let your attorney speak for you, but because our attorneys never spoke for us, I did it myself. And then you
Mhm.
have, we wouldn't even know Trayvon Martin's name if it wasn't for his mama. We wouldn't even know Ahmaud Arbery's name if it wasn't for his mama. We wouldn't even
Mhm.
know the black dude that was killed and buried when they had a missing report out of him if it wasn't for his mama. So the
Mhm.
people that don't have the relationship with their mamas, That's the reason why. Well, we don't want to talk to your mama. We don't want to talk to your mama. Well, you may not want to talk to your mama, but Kyle don't have a problem with talking to his.
Mhm.
And I don't have a problem with taking this responsibility. I really don't. Because it's my
Let me ask you
job as
this.
his mother.
Right. Right. No, and I think you doing exactly what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? And like you said, God, He twists all this up for your good. And it's
Mm.
you go through it, and it be painful now. It be some things
Oh,
that but you gotta
it's
stay solid. You know,
crazy.
yeah, you
It's
gotta stay
so
solid.
unfair. Yeah, why he making all this money off of everybody's transgressions. Let me tell you what I learned. Listen to me. Let me tell you what I learned just the Friday. I did an interview with Judge Joe Brown. Okay.
Hmm.
And that's why elections are so important. So Jonathan Majors didn't get convicted on the battering her. He didn't get convicted of battery. He got
Hmm.
convicted from the scratch, according to Judge Joe Brown, what he shared with us on the interview that I had with him with my own ears from the judge.
Hmm.
The scratch that was on his finger from when he was trying to get his phone back. He also said that the I guess the Uber driver testified that she was the main aggressor and everything. But guess what they did? All they wanted to do was they had to get the black guy on the hook. They couldn't just let the black guy go because the complainant was
Yeah.
not that it was right, not that you know what I'm saying, but because somebody got to go for the situation because don't nobody want to look like they made a mistake.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
I mean, in history,
that's the reason why you have
yeah.
innocence project. That's the reason why you have wrongful convictions. That's why you get stuff expunged. Look at Brian Banks. Look at Marcus Dixon. I mean, it happens every day. Like intelligently, you can tell me 5 stories. You don't if everything is what they say, you don't need but one jury to go home. They can come up with 5 stories. I can come up with one. Marcus Dixon, I can come up with two. Marcus Dixon and Brian Banks went through the whole system, and the prosecution won, the jury won because they were wrong. They got it wrong.
Right.
They got it wrong. But
Yeah.
nobody in real time wants to admit that they got it wrong.
No, they're not. They're not. You're gonna have to chase that. You're gonna have to chase them down for that money. But you know what? Um, I think you like I said, you're doing the right thing. But I guess I've watched some interviews. I see that he spoke out a little bit
Well,
with
he
his
did
lawyers.
the we did Law and Crime with his attorney.
Right, right. And I seen, I saw that. From my
That was a 2 hour interview,
understanding,
by the way. That was a 2 hour interview. That was the clip was only 5 minutes.
right, you know how they do. You know how they
No,
do.
no,
From what
no.
from my understanding
I'm
is
not complaining about the interview. I loved I
okay,
honey, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have had a voice at all. So, because
right.
his attorneys that
No,
he
I'm glad he's
paid,
speaking out.
yeah, when his
Mhm.
attorneys that he paid money for, they did nothing. We paid $30,000 to Lee Hutton. We paid $12,500 to this company, this place called Newton and Hall over in Seattle, over in Washington. We paid them $12,500 half down on a $25,000 retainer. And they said we had to pay them the remaining balance in 90 days. They didn't do shit in the first 90 days. So I'm like, no, man, we ain't paying. What we paying you money for? You ain't did nothing for the first 12.5 that you got. Like, no, like what the what?
Yeah,
No. Like,
yeah,
man,
they
get on
look,
out of here.
yeah,
Like, the money that we've done paid out, the money that we've lost. And it's like, so what? It's a game. It's a game. It's a game. You trying to frustrate. They try to offer him a plea deal. No. Like, if you got your case, put it on. Your star witness is a liar. Your star
hmm,
witness said that she never went to California and never found anything in California. Well, the whole world knows she lying. TMZ knew that. He's a lawyer, so were you a lawyer that don't read documents? I mean, come on, dude. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, just make it make sense. Make it make
right,
sense. You're a lawyer that don't read documents and your name on it.
right,
But because he know he can
right.
get away with it, is the reason that he does that.
Hmm.
But in our
Yeah,
case, I have the backdoor emails, not the judge, not the prosecutor. I got them. I got the emails with 3 people CC'd on them from TMZ. I have them in my personal collection that I
hmm,
submitted to the judge in King County. I got them. where I guess the attorney just thought I was so nice. Yeah, it's the most stuff that goes, some more levels to it too. Yeah, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. He forgot that
Yeah.
he had another email and then forgot to send me the wrong email and then two different emails. And yet all of them are concocting this story that Kyle never even approved.
Yeah. That's crazy. But
It,
yeah, that's crazy. They
truth.
be in conjunction. They be in conjunction.
Truth. It's because
Yeah.
Kyle's attorney
What
is a lawyer. Kyle's attorney is a lawyer. I'm a lawyer as a lawyer. He tell you that in the beginning. I am a lawyer. Yeah, but guess what? What's his name? What's his name? F. Lee Bailey was a lawyer too, but he got disbarred. I mean, like what that mean? Like, dude, like when you doing
so
dirty cricket shit to people, like
mhm.
you can't keep on doing dirty stuff to people and think that you're gonna always be at the tippy top.
Well, tell me this. Tell me this, Ms. Massey. What is, because I read into the case some more. I saw that face value. I knew, you already know TMZ. I ain't believe a word they said anyway. But what what really happened? Was this? I mean, I don't know if you can really speak on it, but was this woman trying to, had a relationship with him and then said he had a relationship with the daughter? What
Yes.
really
So
happened?
so let me tell you this. Let me give you a frame of reference, right? So this woman, her name is Kendra Andreas. Okay, she just became a nurse in 2016. She's a registered nurse in the state of Washington. She has a whole NPI number. You can go Google her right now. Her name is Kendra Andreas, and you can see her NPI number and everything. 2016. So the average person knows that med school is expensive. Think about it. To become a nurse or a doctor, it's expensive. It ain't no cheap education, right? 2016, she finished the school. She got all these med school bills. So much so that she came after us in 2019 for $1.5 million. Okay, in exchange of she gave us a demand letter for 1 month, from February 14th on Valentine's Day to March the 16th or 17th. I think that's when it went public on TMZ. And the case wasn't even filed when TMZ ran the story. Okay. They ran the story and it wasn't even technically filed yet. That's how much responsibility TMZ has in this story from 2019, from the originating accusation in California. 2020, when she goes to the police in Seattle, because when she was extorting us before it went public, Cal told, I said, how do you know these people? How do you know this person? He told how he knew her. They were having sex and going to the hotel next door to where we live. We used to live on Vineland and Ventura in California. There's a hotel right next door to where we used to live. We used to live in Archstone Studio Colony on Vineland and Ventura, at the corner of Vineland and Ventura. The famous prestigious Beverly Garland Holiday Inn Hotel is right next door. It's a really prestigious boutique hotel in California. Small little hotel, but very, very, very popular and highly respected. Beverly Garland is named after Beverly Garland, the old actress. Right next door. So it was, and she always came to his turf. The little girl's the little girl's daddy is one of the rapper dudes called Drew Downs. That's according to the little girl on one of her videos. Her daddy is Drew Downs, the rapper. And so she would come to California a lot. She would come to California. She would come to California. She would come to California. That's how Cal never went to her turf. She always came to his jurisdiction, where he lived, where he worked, where he was famous. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it all happened. And then when she tried to extort him, we said no. I said, so Cal told the story. He told the truth about how he knew her. And then I was responding back to her attorneys about how Cal knows her. And these are the circumstances. And also, what's interesting is that people don't realize in that email communication between the attorneys at the time, his name is Neville Johnson, was her attorney over at Johnson and Johnson in California. Her attorney even emailed me back and said, according to this is what's written in the email, the dick picture that your son sent to Miss Andreas, that's in the email. So he even admitted that Cal sent the picture to her, because her daughter's name is Maria Robinson. Her daughter's name
Right.
don't have the same last name as her.
Right.
And the attorney, Neville Johnson, his firm, emailed me back the dick picture that your son sent to Miss Andreas. Do you see what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
TMZ, they all of them have all this information, but nobody wants
Mhm.
to admit they want a conviction, they want a jury trial, they want a spectacle, they want all this stuff. And then if he found not guilty, then it's like, oh, okay. But then he still got the smear. You see what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's a game, it's a
Right.
joke that they play. And it's like, no,
Yeah.
dude, you got it wrong. He ain't none of that stuff.
Right.
He's got none of that. And then in court, when she went to the Seattle, when she went to the King County Police Department, Mr. Larry, let me tell you this. This is true. You could go Google it. She had two financial lending institutions that were suing her in the same King County courtroom. Two financial lending institutions. One was Evergreen Financial, which is also the hospice place where she worked. Okay. Evergreen Financial Lending Institution and some other financial lending institution was suing her openly in the same King County where she's bringing a case against my black male son that has never even been there. So talk about investigation. Like, oh, so this investigation was just one-sided? You just believe what she says and nobody looks into her at all? This is all public record.
Right. Right.
So does she have financial motive? Of course she does. She's a nurse with medical bills. She got 4 kids by different baby daddies. You see what I'm saying? Child support can't pay for medical bills, bills at the house. You know what I mean?
Now,
Everybody
when
daddy
he
only pay for
when
them.
he when he was meeting up with her, was he 15?
Yes, he was 15 or 16. He was under the but what's so funny is this is what's funny. That's not funny. But what's funny is Judge
Talk to you.
So Judge Joe Brown said, listen, he's not a girl. He's not a girl. So at 15, 16 years old, he
Yeah.
just got made. He got some nookie. Okay. He's not a
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah.
But it's funny
Yeah.
because that's the masculine part of that conversation. And which
Right.
which I'm okay with it. Like I'm okay with it. But what I'm not okay with is when the law only applies to the white girl. So, but the
Right.
law in the state of California says that you cannot legally consent to sex. You can get some away. You can get some away whenever you
Mhm.
want to, but it don't make it legal.
Mhm.
So
Right.
now
Right.
again,
Right.
can you have that conversation on both sides and be right? You cannot, because the law says in the state of California, you cannot consent to sex
Right.
until while you're under the age of 18. Now,
Yeah.
I would never even push the damn issue had it not been this big issue. Like the little girl, she's so innocent. Go to her dang on Instagram and dang on YouTube. She talking about her mama talking about dicks on the dang on YouTube. Limp dicks. Her and her mama. Her and her mother, Kendra Andreas and Maria Robinson together was talking about DICKs on the doggone YouTube video. Limp dicks, actually, limp ones. Okay, so she know the difference between a limp one and a firm one at 13. And the video was
Yeah.
loaded up. Look, and check this out. And the video was loaded up a week before she came out to us for $1.5 million, talking about her daughter couldn't go to school and she was so distressed. Girl, you was just talking about limp dicks with your daughter a week ago. What are you talking about?
Mm.
Like in the same time frame that she was extorting us. Like no, like I'm about tired of people need to know the real story. And
Yeah.
TMZ have had enough opportunity and enough chances to tell the real story to help us out of this situation.
Mhm.
But they refuse
Yeah.
to help us because they're a part of the problem.
Right.
And that's fine. That's fine. It's okay. That's fine. I don't even care. I don't even care about them no more. It's all good though. It's all
But
good.
you know what? I think there's a balance. As a mother, remaining present, pushing forward, but also standing up for what's right. And making sure that the right story is told, and that you can control the narrative, because it ain't 1960. They can't just write a little article in the newspaper, and nobody can fact check and do their research. And sometimes things like this can blow up, like you said, blow up the infrastructure of some some wicked work, because I'm a victim of TMZ as well. When like I said, I got jumped in a bar by 8 Serbians, 8 white boys. In defense, I hit one, knocked one of them out, and hit another one in the head with a bottle. But they jumping me. I'm trying to get them off me. All the articles said TMZ released the article before Milwaukee did. TMZ released the article that morning. Larry Sanders hit someone in the head with a bottle and punches someone in the face. That's all it said. I ain't had no criminal charges. I ain't go to jail. I ain't, you know what I mean? But I had to deal with that. For a while, Milwaukee. It was tough. And at the time, it was a brewer who had got caught for using steroids. So as soon as that happened with me, I'm all over the place. You know what I mean? So I had to recover from that. There was a mental aspect that weighed on me. That was getting over resentment, understanding my faults in it as well because I should have had a bodyguard with me.
No,
I
that
should have.
you didn't have no fault. Let me stop
No,
you right.
no, that
That's always the
no,
mis.
but
You didn't have
no,
no
but there
fault.
is.
No, but
I did.
somebody jumping on you, then you have a right, whether you had a bodyguard or not. What if your bodyguard went to the bathroom? You know what I'm saying? Like
You
you
you.
and what you gonna have a bodyguard forever until you die? I mean, come,
No, I
that's not even
understand.
expectation. Like it's not about your bodyguard, it's about due process under the law. Somebody attacked you and you defended yourself. That's not a crime. That's not a
Right,
crime. That's not a crime.
but I guess what I understood that as a black man, we can't depend on the law. we can't.
Clearly.
We can't. We can't. So
Wait,
we got to move
check this out. But
smarter
you
than the law.
weren't arrested though. But you said you weren't arrested. You never went to jail. So you could depend on the law. The problem was TMZ because the law said you didn't do nothing wrong. Think about it. You just said it
Well,
out of your mouth.
you're right.
The law did work in your favor that time. It's TMZ is the problem.
Well,
They
you brought up something
always,
earlier.
huh?
You brought some earlier. You brought some earlier as well too. You educated me on the law when you said that there is you can legally release
Yeah,
information that's false. So that's what I mean.
right.
That's the law that we
But
can't depend on.
as long as it's within the confinement of a court document. And guess what? When you go to
Right.
think about it like this, how gangster it is. It's gangster on steroids what they doing, but it ain't right.
Hmm.
And they only applying it to the people that they want to apply it to. If it would be one thing if they applied it all the way across the board, but they applying it to everybody that they want to apply it to. So guess what?
Right.
When you go to your attorney, there is no affidavit. But when you go to the police, there is. That's the reason
Right.
why, if you notice, all of these cases coming back as civil cases because they can say whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. The dumbest thing ever. And I wish I would. I wish that I had been an attorney. I would have been a fantastic defense attorney, I think. Probably not because I'll be cussing out somebody and then I'll get disbarred and then it will be a waste of money. So yeah, that's not a good idea. Let me scratch that out of my brain. So let me take this, right? So here's the dialogue. Let me ask you this question. How many times have you heard in these civil complaints that the person got raped, right? They
Hmm.
consented to sex. They got and then but when they went, they spent the night. They went to the person's house, spent the night. They agreed that they had sex. So there's semen, there's DNA, there's all that stuff available because the lady says that they had sex. But then what happens when the man gets in trouble and has to go to court and trial and potentially go to jail is because her dialogue is when she woke up, he was on top of her sexually assaulting her. Okay. Have you ever heard of that before?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've heard of that
Okay,
before. Yeah.
I'm asking you, have you ever heard of that in some of these headlines where the person said that's what happened with the dude in the football dude. I can't remember his name, but
She said
anyway,
she woke up and he was on top of her.
right, yeah, they had sex, and then the next morning when she woke up, he was on top of her, sexually assaulting her. How many times have we heard that dialogue in these civil complaints?
Right.
I'm asking a question. I'm asking you. I'm saying, how many times have you heard it with your own ears or read it that has applied or accused, that was accused?
I don't know. I don't think. I mean, usually it's like a sexual assault case. They'll say they didn't consent or they weren't, like they was drunk or yeah. I don't. I, I kind of look at that stuff as face value. Until I can talk to the person. I don't. I'm a been a victim of it. I've been a victim of accusations, and
I know,
so.
but I'm saying, no, that's not the question. It's kind of a simple question. Like, it's not a trick
Mhm.
question. I'm saying, have you ever heard about it? Have you ever heard about somebody being in a situation
I
where,
think I have. Yeah, I think I
okay,
have. Yeah.
okay, so with that being a yes, I have heard it. You've heard it. Now, with that particular action, just that sound bite, I woke up and you were on top of me. Okay. How do you prove that? How do you take somebody's freedom away from them with that particular sound bite? Because guess what? Because the only way that she can prove that is that she had to be recording you in order to prove
Mhm.
that, right?
Right.
In order to
Right.
prove that she woke up and you were on top of her, she would have had to have a hidden camera somewhere in that room or in that house in order to capture that behavior. Because
Right.
there's no way to prove it. You say you didn't, she say you did. So how do you prove that when she woke up, you were on top of her, sexually assaulting her? You cannot prove that without a video.
Hmm.
I don't give a damn who you talk to. You can't prove that without a video. You go her word, but you can't prove it without
Right.
a video. Now, guess what happens? If she does have a video, then guess what happens? She recorded you without your permission. That's considered pornography. That's the power that they have in the litigation privilege.
Mm.
And it's bullish. That's what it is. It's
Mm.
bullish. Because you cannot, if me and you go to bed right
That's
now,
wild. Hmm.
if we go to sleep right now, how do you have a point of reference of what time you woke up if you were asleep? How do you prove that he was on top of you if you were asleep? How can you prove how long he was doing whatever he was doing to you if you were asleep?
Right.
That's the power of litigation privilege. They get to say whatever the hell they want. They don't have to prove it. They don't. Man, get the muck up out of here with that bullish. And TMZ is a part of the problem. And he's a lawyer. He's supposed to they always hold teachers at a higher standard. Think about it. If a teacher
Hmm.
have a relationship with a student, principal have a relationship with a student, church have a relationship with the everybody have a higher standard of accountability, but a lawyer can just do whatever they want with the law because it's the law and it only applies when they misapplying the law. Think about it. But
Hmm.
technically they're not breaking the law, but they know how to make money around the
Yeah.
law and skirt around the law
Hmm.
and not tell you the truth
Right.
when they're supposed to represent you in the best interest of their client. So they get to make money off of your demise and you don't even know it. They should
Yeah.
be held
In
at a
conjunction.
higher ethical standard. Do you see what I'm like, man? Get the man TMZ so garbage until it's ridiculous. Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous how garbage they are. And not to mention, can you do me a favor? Can you go back? You never did go to your internet and tell the people what's the latest date that you saw that go back to where TMZ have been legal had a legal issue that's on record where they can go find it for themselves. What's the date,
We're
this
gonna do it right
furthest
now.
date?
All right. I'm gonna put a
TMZ, just
Harvey
type in
Levine legal issue.
TMZ lawsuit or Harvey Levin lawsuit.
All right. I'm gonna show it up here for the people to see.
Well, I can't see it. Just read it to us because we can't see it, and then tell them where they can find it. What does it say? I can't see it. I don't have no glasses. So I can't see it. So what does it say?
It
Read it. Just
says TMZ boss Harvey Levine accused of running a sexist, misogynistic, and then it keeps going after that, y'all. So you got to click it.
what's the
But
date?
yeah, I
What's the
mean,
date that article was written?
3 pages. Let me see. It's the whole situation. It's a
What's the date on?
PDF. It ain't giving me the date. It ain't
Is
giving
the
me the date on that one. One
okay?
of them
You know
say
why?
August 25th, 2020.
Okay, August 25th, 2020. How many black dudes have been in? How many black dudes have been on the news for the same thing since then?
Right.
I'm just look. I'm like Cat Williams. Don't worry, I'll wait. Play too much. He played too much. He played too
Facts,
much. And
facts.
guess what? And guess what? It wasn't on TMZ either, was it? Look at the article again. It wasn't on TMZ, was it?
Yeah, nah, for sure.
TMZ didn't run
It
the
wasn't
story
on
on
TMZ.
TMZ, did they? Did they?
Yeah,
Did they
nah,
run
they
the story
didn't.
on TMZ?
Nah, they didn't.
They didn't. They ain't gonna never run the story. They're gonna run the story on everybody else, though. They all in everybody else's business. Guess
Yeah.
what would happen? Guess what would happen if everybody, if every single person, forget about celebrities. Don't even worry about the celebrities. If every other blogger put that article on their timeline right now, he would be trending worldwide, and it'll take all the attention off of all the other shit that he'll be the sharks of shit, his own shit. Hey, give it up for him. Hey, everybody in
Yeah.
the back, give it up for him. Give it up for him. I'm tired of him. I'm about sick of them.
Hey,
That TM.
well, I think this is a year of unrevealing. I think it's gonna be a lot of like you said, sharks and shit coming out, and people gonna be able to see people for who they really are, and then the people who like your family are going to get the flowers they deserve for the hard work they put in, for the countless hours of you investing in your boys, for y'all being active parents and in this world and showing them something different in everything. What you said through this conversation, the aunties, the uncles, the dad. It's time to make things right, and I think um, you guys just keep being solid. Keep being solid. As a family, keep exuding the excellence that you guys are exuding. And that's gonna rain. That's gonna shine over all these accusations because it's not true. So,
Mm-mm.
I want to hear about the future. What's your idea for the future for your boys and for you and um, what's next?
What's next is we can potentially now have the opportunity to really be able to, have a deeper compassion and respect for that vocabulary word criminal. Because
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. Before Kyle got in this situation, um, you kind of get a little bit of one-sided thinking. So now I'm never going to be judgmental about nothing else going forward as it
Right,
relates to the vocabulary word criminal. and
right,
and other people need to, as long as we become abreast on like litigation privilege. If you understand that litigation privilege gives a person an opportunity to lie, defraud, defame, maliciously tell lies, knowingly tell an untruth,
mhm,
but as long as it's within a court document, they get to get away with it. If everybody could start self consciously interrupting themselves to be able to understand that before they read an article, then it wouldn't even be no TMZ. You see
right,
what I'm saying? Or even if it was a
yeah.
TMZ, then we would be able to just take it as face value. And not that we try to put TMZ out of business. Don't nobody care nothing about. I don't care nothing about them. I'm not trying to knock his hustle, but at the same time, don't throw no shit over here at me when you got shit on yourself on yourself, and
You
you just,
know, right.
yeah, but you just wearing
You
brown
know,
all the time. But you got shit on
right,
you
right,
too.
right, right. But
Yeah,
that what's that magazine that was bullshit that everybody used to get, and it was bull. It just used to have like picture of Whitney Houston on there with some,
yeah.
just everybody.
Hmm.
That's what I feel like TMZ is, and they've just got people to buy into the bullshit. And like you said, it's a responsibility of the public as well, right? To not feed into it. You can starve out anything if you don't feed it, it's gonna starve. So, there's a responsibility for the public too to know that they're eating a bunch of bullshit and junk food, and it's only gonna make them, out of shape and weigh in on their mental health. I mean, because yeah, he's making money off the backs you know, of us and whatever negative, picture he can paint, but he's also inducing a mental illness to the public. He's also disturbing the public. And I think when the public take it personal, and what they're doing and see the negative effects that they've had since experiencing him, you know what I mean? They need to do a
Yeah.
Harvard experiment,
And
whatever they
guess
gotta
what?
do.
Yeah, and guess what? Their target audience is 18 to 34. So he don't have kids. So he's preying on our children. They say
Mhm.
the average male brain don't even fully develop to 27, 25, 27. So you
Right.
preying on our kids. 18 to 34 is his target audience. That's
Yeah.
that's TMZ's target audience. That's why he's so successful. Because the people like us don't look at TMZ. They know it's garbage.
Right.
They don't care nothing
Right.
about nobody else's business. They don't care to know somebody else's demise. They don't want to see people hurting and suffering and starving and begging. And
Right.
they don't want a regular human decency person. They don't want to see somebody swallowing and swaddling and walling in pity and stress.
Right.
That's not what God want us to do. But TMZ's audience, their target audience is 18 to 34 years old. That's their target. If you Google it and show it to your people. Their target audience is 18 to 34 years old. He's making millions off of young adults
Yeah.
at someone else's expense that he know ain't true. He's a lawyer. He understands more so than the people that he's feeding the garbage to. He understands the whole backstory of where it comes from.
Right.
Ray Rice's situation, his wife is still, when I last researched this situation, his wife is still married to him today. So the
Yeah.
only thing that Harvey Levins and TMZ did over at TMZ was take food out of that man's mouth, his family's mouth, while he's feeding his family real good off of his demise.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, so what was the point? Like, that is the question. What were we supposed to learn from that article? What were we supposed to learn from that video? What were we supposed to learn from it? Because we surely didn't learn that all black men are abusers, or we surely didn't learn that you can't trust all black men, or we surely didn't learn that black men ain't crap. And because that's not true. Because if all that stuff applied to him, she had a, because if they can't say that, okay, domestic violence, the person always stays because they scared and all that. She had the whole world looking at him if she wanted to leave.
Mhm. Mhm.
She could have gone anywhere and been safe. So that don't
Mhm.
apply to him and them, because the whole entire world was watching him and her
Right.
because of the story that TMZ paid $90,000 to run. So what were we supposed to get out of that? What were we supposed to learn from it? Stay out of
Right.
damn grown people business.
Yeah.
Stay out of grown folk business because it ain't our damn business. If you do you understand what I'm saying? Stay out of people business. That's what we learned from it.
Right.
Stay out of people business. She ain't dead. She's still living. How many years ago was that? He didn't kill her.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? How many years ago was that? You understand what I'm saying? Like, what were we supposed to? What was
Tarnishing.
the lesson? What was the lesson that we were supposed to learn from that? What
Yeah.
was the lesson?
That was
What was the
devastating.
lesson that we were supposed to learn from Kyle Massey, former Disney star, send explicit material to a 13-year-old girl? What were we supposed to learn from that? That's why I would love to sit across the table with him and ask him that. What did you want the people to learn from that headline?
That's not his interest. Right.
Like, what
That's
we
not
supposed
that. But I'm gonna let you know that that's a responsibility of the public because that's junk food. That's junk food media. That's it's bullshit. So people got to understand that, man. They gotta stop taking things literal from that sense. A TMZ and just what I mean, really dig and try to find out. If you're interested, you're gonna ask questions and you're gonna do your research. If you're not, you trying to look for something to click on. That's how TMZ is feeding their families. So people got to be more educated, more witty, and understand. they consuming junk food. You know what I mean? It ain't gonna do shit for them. It ain't nothing healthy about it. So I think this been shit, we've been here about an hour and 20 now.
I know,
Um,
right? Okay, so let me ask you a
nah,
question. What
it's been
did
good.
you think about your own research in my son's case? Because you never got a chance to say that. Like, what did you on
Yeah,
your own independent research leave with after your research about this on your own?
I felt he, like a lot of young black men who are in the spotlight, was getting a lot of attention. You get attention from women all across the board when you know what I mean, you young, you got money. Um, I do believe he was, having relations with this woman. I understand how it can be a money grab, people be in vulnerable situations, and he was like a lick to somebody. They made accusations, got their daughter involved to make it seem, you know what I mean, like it was, a little criminal or, my mind is, I can wrap my mind around your logic. I can wrap my mind around his story. Um, it's just, I think it's just interesting how much power, like you said, TMZ has, and how much power, they have to tell our stories, and how much power people have to make accusations. I was talking to my friend about this the other day. I said it's the worst time to be black and famous. Like rich, good. Famous, no. I mean, you're just a target. Right now, a lot of black people are being the scapegoats. They're being the target, because they've been around. They might have been in a room with somebody and took a picture, and now they are now the demon of the, being demonized. So I think it's a dangerous time, to be black and famous. And I can completely understand. I think it's tough because I was going to ask you, when he was younger and she was older, should he have spoken out about that? But I mean, I put myself in those shoes, and when you, like I said, you're young, you black, you getting attention, you're a man, like Judge Joe Brown said. It's not
So, right,
something you going.
he's 16 years
Yeah,
old. He got something
yeah,
new.
he hitting that. But and I can, so I can relate. So it's not like I'm gonna sit there and run to the cops. I wouldn't run to the cops either. You know what I mean? It's comes with the territory. It comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? And so I get it. I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. And I just
That's
pray y'all will be able to get up out of this, and really, like I
and
said, when that
I
light
learned. Let me tell you
shines.
what. Thank you. Go ahead. I'm
Oh,
sorry. Let me tell you what I learned from Judge Joe Brown too. He says, "Well, sounds like you're telling me when I said that they proceeded to have court without him. No, 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 they can't do that." He says
right.
that's what they call they can't do that in abstentia. And I googled that word, and abstentia means in his absence. I was like, "Oh, I feel so educated. I like it. I got me some high dollar vocabulary words for free, baby. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what
judge. Right,
abstentia,
right,
that in the
right.
absence of, yeah, he
It's
says that no, they
sincere.
can't do that. He said they can't do that. He said that it can be
Right.
those proceedings can be thrown out because they were conducted under his abstentia. And guess what?
Yeah,
Our attorney didn't do nothing about it. So does that mean that he a good attorney or a bad attorney, or he just didn't give a attorney? Because he didn't do nothing. He didn't do anything. And the whole thing
mm,
was they knew that he did not get served. It was on the court
yeah,
docket. I'm going to text you the document. It's
yeah,
right there in black and white on the actual court docket. Undeliverable. Undeliverable. It says it was undeliverable because let me tell you how God works, and then we listen to me. We lived in we lived in this place called Palazzo. It's right
mhm.
on La Brea. It's a very prestigious
Oh, yeah, I know where it is, yep.
um
The Palazzo. Mhm.
Palazzo, right across from the Bev, right across from the Grove. That's where we
Right,
live,
yeah, oh,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
check this. So you know what I'm talking about. It's a huge community, and
Mhm.
so she gave the detectives the address, the physical address for the Palazzo, because she knew that that was the last known address where Kyle lived, because she came back and forth to California.
Mm-hmm.
What she didn't realize was that you have to have unit numbers, / apartment numbers. So because the Palazzo is such a huge community, you had to
Mm-hmm.
have a unit number. So because that the postman that delivers there was, I want to meet that person one day. I wish that's the one person that I want to meet, is that postman or postwoman that actually put that mail, that piece, that letter back in the mail when it did not have an apartment on it. Because you know what that postman did for us? It gave Kyle his truth. Had they left that envelope at the leasing office, or had they just casually put that envelope in somebody's mailbox, we wouldn't have a leg to stand on, because we wouldn't be able to, we wouldn't be able to prove that we never got the document.
Right.
But
Right.
because a postman delivered, put it as, listen to me. You see how you smiling? Listen, that's why
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want to do. You can inconvenience us all you want to, and we inconvenience like muck right now. Let me tell you something. We are inconvenienced like muck. But that particular postman, God
Mm-hmm.
had that postman to pay attention, do his
Mm-hmm.
or her job. They sent that letter back, and it wasn't but like a week turnaround too. Once it went out from King County and was returned back to them, it was in a week, and it was during COVID, when they were telling everybody, don't
Mm.
rely on the mail, don't rely on the mail, don't rely on the mail. During COVID, it was mailed from King County Sheriff Department, and it was returned in a week and got loaded and documented on the court document 4 days before court, and they still proceeded without them. Come on, God, and show up and show out. Show up and show out and beat Satan at his own game, and that is the truth. Fact check me.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all a part of
Oh
his.
yeah.
That's all a part of his court document.
Yeah.
And you know what the judge says? That they can't do that. They cannot proceed in a proceeding where he's not been served. That's in absentia. Yeah, but
For
yeah.
real.
So yeah. And that's a judge
Right.
that has no vested interest in this case. He don't work there, he don't live there, he don't play there, he don't have no allegiance to nobody. He don't know me, he don't know them. He just read me off what the law was.
Right.
I've been saying the same thing since day one. My story never changed. I'm just getting a little bit slow and steady momentum, slow and steady momentum, slow and steady momentum, because it's the truth. And it's not
Yeah.
right.
Hmm.
It's not right. It's
It's
just
not.
not right. It's just not
No,
right.
I agree.
And let me tell you what Cat Williams said. Cat Williams said out of the 30, he said he's been arrested 30 times and he's never had a conviction. So all those times, he never had he's been arrested 30 times, but like you,
Hmm.
he never had a conviction. He never, none of that stuff. So the thing about it
Hmm.
is they, like Cat Williams said out of his mouth, they would all those times where he got arrested. It was, he said he knew he didn't do nothing wrong. It was all them trying to frustrate him, probably because he been taught, you know what I mean? He been the same Cat Williams after we looked at the interview. And then I would say this, you take, now you got TMZ, which is the sharks of shit. And you got the black man over here, Shannon Sharp, that now has been branded and labeled the place of truth by Cat Williams. Come on, God, show up and show out. So
Hmm.
now we have a balance from all that shit that they got going on over there at TMZ with the truth. Because now the people that get screwed over here on this side in the shark's mouth, you'll be able to go over there to Shannon Sharp and tell your story and tell your truth. And we're gonna be listening.
Hmm.
We're gonna be listening
Yeah.
because they're not
No,
the
that's
only
powerful.
platform anymore. They got
Right.
30 something, 38 million people in a week. TMZ don't have that many clicks and likes on their page.
Right.
they,
No,
they
he
don't.
and it's a reason, and you got to really realize the reason why Cat Williams went to him and not TMZ. Ain't nobody going to
Oh,
TMZ. First of all,
he wasn't going to no
ain't
TMZ
nobody
because TMZ
going to them.
never tell his story.
Yeah.
Yeah, TMZ ain't interested in the truth. TMZ is interested. shit. They introducing the garbage and the lies and the slander and the litigation privilege. That's what they pay for. They don't care nothing about nothing else. Litigation privilege. They're the litigation privilege kings. That's what they are.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this case shines light. Um, he's not the only one that's been, victimized by accusations, especially the sexual ones and, people trying to money grab. It's the sad thing is it's more prevalent than it should be, and it should be more repercussions for people who create these kind of situations for people, taking money out of um, people's families. It's a lot. It's a lot that goes into it. Um, I thank you for coming on here and just unpacking some of it and giving some history on the boys and their upbringing. I think that's awesome. I think that story is more important than any of this stuff. It's actually their legacy. And their legacy is don't stop here. So um, this is going to propel them. This is going to put you in situations that God's going to put you in situations that you can't even see now because of this, and it'll be a stepping stone. It'll be a stepping stone into the future. So, we praying for you over here. I
Thank
thank you
you.
for coming on this show. Yes, thank you for coming on the show and speaking your truth. Um, and just look forward to it. And hopefully, we can have a follow up because I know there's some more to talk about and more to unpack. And when you guys get from up under all this, um, I wanna definitely give you this outlet to express, where you are with things, and we can just keep pushing forward. But I really appreciate this,
I
you
thank
coming on
you.
the show.
Here, put your fingers there. We're doing a piece that put your fingers right there.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Awesome. Epic. That
Yeah.
was awesome.
No, it
Pardon the
was.
bad
Thank you.
words, everyone. I do say a lot of bad words. I'm working on it. I used to say more than
Nah,
that.
it's all
So
good.
I,
It's all good. Yeah, it's all good. It's
I
all
promise
good.
I've got better.
All right.
Oh,
That's
thank
all
you.
good. Awesome. So yes, it's been a special day, and I don't know if you even saw this behind me, but this
I
all
can't,
are incarcerated.
I'm just
You
gonna
say
be
you ain't
honest.
got your
I
glasses.
can't see.
You can't see.
I be walking around here
Well,
looking
that's
like I'm look, listen to me. This is a true story. I be walking around here thinking like I'm all cute and everything. I can't see. I
you can't
cannot
see
see. I
that.
can't even I can see you when you smile and when you get real close to the camera a little bit, but I can't
Uh,
see.
uh.
I can see stuff behind you like it's a shelf, but I can't make out anything that you're doing or saying. I could not even the phone when you put it right there, I could, but I can't see anything. I can't see. I see that there's something just moved. I can't read what it says. I can't see none of that.
That's awesome. Well, it's been great.
Awesome.
It's been great, and yeah, I really appreciate you. So, like, hopefully we can do this again, and yeah, you have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much. This was awesome. Okay.
Peace.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Whew, that was great. That was dope. A lot of unpacking in that episode. Oof, man, that woman is a fighter. I think they played with the wrong one with her because she definitely got that big mama bear energy, and she ain't playing when it comes to her cubs. And I love to see it. I love to see that. Um, so it's been dope. I want to give a special shout out to our sponsors again, Czar Wellness, czarwellness.com. Go get your flowers, THCA. So it's shipped anywhere in the nation. Go and get that and partake. If you do, they have gummies, they have topicals for your skin, and real educational. So czarwellness.com. And it's been great. Appreciate everybody for being here. See you on the next episode. Peace.